Righto, that is it. Christmas Eve, another Christmas done, and I'm done. But I thought that there's going to be some people sitting at home bored, and why not just come around and have a look at our shop, check it out, see where we go. So, can't really see, as you walk in the door, we've got all our bird cages, all that stuff here as well. But the first tank you're greeted for is our 60 centimetre cube tank. Now this tank here has been done, it's done the works. I gave it to my brother-in-law, then I had it at my house, then we had it set up in another part of the shop, and we set it up here. I've had African cichlids in there, flower horns, and now it is a planter tank. And we've had this set up for a long time now. I probably couldn't even think about how many years we've had this going there for as well. But it's definitely one of our feature tanks in the shop. It's a bit of a jungle tank, and honestly, we probably could scape it a bit better, but I really like it. I really think it's a simple tank, and plants grow good. We used to run CO2 on there. We've ditched the CO2 off there now, so that's kind of been like one of the things that we used to do a lot more on there as well. It's pretty simple. We run on this tank here, Fluval 407 filter. Pretty good filter, solid unit. We have the Illuminagic Blaze lights, Illuma Magic. You can tell it's getting to the end of the day. Blaze lights on there as well. We have a Aquarium automatic feeder on there, so we don't even really feed this tank much. We do have a mister on here as well, which is pretty cool. So that one just gives that like a bit of a fog effect on there. It's literally just novelty, but I think it looks pretty cool. Cool enough for me to make sure I set it up every day when I come into work. So yeah, this tank, again, we've got endler guppies in here, a huge population of them. We haven't added any endlers to this tank for at least 5 years. We've got a heap of shrimp in there as well. Kind of see one on the leaf just there. There are a lot more in there. They just kind of just disappear into the tank. Some of these crypts we have here are absolutely monstrous on there as well. Big lotus, we've got lots of Java fern at the back. We've just put the pothos in here. I do like it, but I really think that it is taking the nutrients away from the plants in the tank there as well. So I'm thinking that I am going to put a pot next to it and actually plant it there and not have the roots in the water and try to have that vine effect. I don't know. We'll see where we go. There's always projects coming on there. Now, some of you might not know that we do the whole range of pets here. So we've got like all our dog toys down here. But you guys came here for fish. We all know it. So these are the tanks that we have for sale here as well. So we do a fair different few sizes. We've got your all-in-one kits. Got these dynamic 58 tanks. You'll see them down the back. I'm a big fan of these tanks. I like the fact that they're a square. You can almost put them in a corner without too much, it doesn't really lose too much room. It's got a wicked light on there. It has an absolutely crap filter on there, but we sell canister filters. So if you're after one of those, that definitely upgrades it. Then we go to your Aquasys tanks here, 2-foot cubes as well. These guys are really good. They come in a lot of different colored cabinets. You can see, and sizes. This is the 4-foot version. We also have it in black, white. They do a concrete. They do also this in a marine one. So these are really good tanks. They're super popular. They are on the expensive side. Unfortunately, where we are in Mackay, we're about 13 hours away from Brisbane, which is like 10 hours away from Sydney. Like, it's sometimes just hard to get big bulky items sent up here as well. There's not much, you know, it costs a lot in freight. So we are limited at the moment in our bigger tank size. And it's a real shame because people come in every day looking for 6-foot, 8-foot tanks. And as much as my back appreciates the fact that we don't sell them anymore, I really do miss not being able to have people set up big monster tanks because I'm a big monster tank person. Let's keep on moving down here. We've got more tanks, little cube tanks, little kits over there as well. Behind you here, we've got our fake plant range. It's pretty lame at the moment. We work on this. This does ebb and flow, and we have a lot of plants in our tank spaced out there as well. We go into our UV sterilizers. We got our foam there. We do filter matting and meter rolls there as well. Works out. And then we've got our canister filter and our filter media range there as well. So we do the Aqua Nocelaris, Nautilus, Aquis, the Fluval range. We haven't got the FX2 in yet. I don't know if it's, I've seen it starting to come out in Australia a little bit now, but I haven't seen it. I haven't got one yet, but it's going to come. We're going to get it in. So if anyone's looking for an FX2, definitely come and have a chat to us. I'm sure it's on the to order list. We have the Oase up there as well. And then we have all your filter media. So we do a few different stuff. We've got your Fluval, we've got the Matrix, we have your Aqua One down here. Then we have like a few different, like, you know, balls, backy rods. So we like to kind of DIY for the sump people there as well. We move on down. This is like all our fluval inserts. We're just redoing this one, so this is a little bit unorganized at the moment, but I don't know how you make this stuff look pretty, honest to God. We just rearrange it all the time and it always looks kind of bit meh. But we have lots. We have lots of filter wool, filter socks, different foams. We do hoses. We've got all your spare parts. We are a big spare part shop. I don't like wasting products that much, so if we can fix it, we definitely try to fix it. Also feel like we stand behind the filters that we sell, as in, hey, there might be better ones out in the market there, but we will always have spare parts for these. We can always fix it. And you know, if there's warranty on there, we honor our warranty. That's one of the things that we really try to make sure that we do here as well. So if you have an issue and you bought it from us, come and talk to us. You know, we can always come to a solution that's going to fix it up. I feel that's really important. I've been burned over the years by getting, you know, stuff in, and just really leaves a bad taste in your mouth when you get like something that you paid a lot of money for and you just find out that your after sales service was just had a lot to be desired. So hopefully that's something that our customers resonate with, and that's something that we provide. If not, definitely come and have a chat to us and see what we can do better, or if we'll let you down before, because you know, we want this experience to be a nice experience for everyone as well. Enough waffling on, let's keep them rocking around. More tanks, more bowls, more ornaments. Can't say the bowls are something that we really like doing there as well, but oh my God, people always want a bowl for their Betta fish as well. At least it's hot up here. We try to sell little heaters for them as well. We definitely have cooler tanks for Betta tanks, but sometimes you have to provide monster reptile enclosures. Check this one out. This is a huge 4 by 4 by 2 foot wooden enclosure. $500 with the cabinets, another $450. So yeah, we've got that in stock there as well. Moving on down, we've got our raw pine stuff down here. This is all made locally as well. All the stands, the tanks aren't imported, but most tanks are imported nowadays. But all our raw pine's made locally. We've got our easy stacker caves up here as well. So these guys are brand new in there. They're pretty awesome. These are all made in Australia as well. 100% Australian owned. Even the packaging's made in Australia. Pretty cool. If you've ever had plecos caught in your log before, you know that you want to squeeze those out sometimes. If you have had eggs, you want to do it. Now, I've had ceramic ones like these over the past, and they really just don't have that nice snug fit on there as well. I think the 3D printed allowed it to kind of have a nice, you know, more accurate fitting on there as well. So they really lock in quite cool. They've got this one here, so they don't get flicked around the tank and that. We've got one set up down the back there. I've got my 387s already kind of sitting in there. All I need is a female. So, but the male really likes it as well. More tanks, more ornaments, more tanks, more ornaments. So we've got heaps to choose from here. I mean, we're not a huge shop. We try to like cater for everyone. I wish I was bigger, but then, you know, my back says no more tanks. They're too heavy. We have our bookshelf tanks here as well. These ones are really cool. They're like low profile. 4 different sizes there, so that's pretty good. Then we go around here. This is more of our Nano stuff. We've been hit pretty hard today, so it's a little bit messy, but that's the way it goes. We're always trying to revamp it, make it look cool, but we've got lots of ornaments there. Just behind you there, we've got all our CO2 stuff. So we do the Bioscape ones, which are kind of an activated CO2. So it's not your traditional gas type of thing there as well. It's where you put your 2 ingredients in there. Technical difficulties, love a Christmas Eve special. Right, we'll just join all these videos together, so it might sound a little bit weird. Phone just said maximum recorded material on there. I might have to go clean out that. Anyway, back to it. CO2, we've got our Dymax systems down there as well, so we do the refills on these cylinders here. So if you're after CO2, definitely come and have a chat to us. We run a lot down the back there. Ebb and flow, I've run it for probably nearly around 15 years. I've run CO2, you know, sporadically. We're just getting back into it. Most things, you get a bit of a taste for it, then you kind of go off it. I'm back on it as well. So if you want some CO2 questions, come and talk to us. Also have our aquascaping gear over here. We got scissors, tweezers, all the little bits and bobs that you need there as well. Epoxies, glues, tablets, more tanks. You can see more ornaments over here. This is one of the things I really like about our shop is our aquascaping section. So it looks a lot better when you turn the light on. So there we go. But I really feel that I don't like the tub idea where they're all in tubs. I feel like you should be able to just really dig into it and yeah, at a nice height and get it. We sell it all by the kilo as well. So I don't like people, as much as it is to buy like 10, 15 kilos, I feel like sometimes you just need like a couple of little bits, and that's why we like to buy the kilo type of thing there as well. Lots of gravels. We do heaps of different substrates. We've got your crazy colour, cloud vomit, unicorn poo gravel, whatever you call it. Then we've got all your natural stuff down here as well. Blacks, golds, we do the Dimax stuff there as well. We got your quartz, you got your sands, we got your planted stuff. That's your Dimax planted. We also do the Oliver knot stuff, which is further down the fish room, but I'm sure we'll get there. Then we head on to more filtration, air pumps, hang-on filters. As you can see, we've got the Dimax, Aqua One, Titles. We do the Eheim air pumps. We've got a bit of a hodgepodge of filtration when it comes down to it. I guess over the years, I've used a lot of different stuff. I really like the Eheim air pumps. I don't really like the Eheim canister filters. I mean, maybe the newer ones might be cooler, but you know, I really like the Seachem Tidal hang-ons. I don't really like the some of the other stuff that they kind of come out return pumps. I feel like they're a bit overpriced. We got our Delua Great White wave makers down there, Red Sea wave makers, and then we have the high door range there as well. Aqua One air pumps. Wouldn't say like they're definitely for a price point, that's for sure. Again, we sell diaphragms. We can fix these things as well. So if you are having issues, come and see us. Sponge filters. Love selling sponge filters. We do them pretty good price there as well. So yeah, always got plenty of there to choose from there as well. Internal filters, and then just got more wave makers down there. If you move down here, you will see our bearded dragons. So this is something that we've really started getting into in the last probably 18 months. I'm pretty happy with how this wall's turned out. So we've gone and really just tried to make as many enclosures as we could kind of fit in here without them being too small. So I had smaller ones in there, these ones up here, and I thought they would be really good, but they weren't really good. They were too small. So we went and did it bigger, and then I had 3, and we managed to take it up to 4. So now it's what, 4, 8, 12, 16 enclosures, which I feel is what you really need to do. We had the T8 Reptile lights on there. We've just upgraded it to the T5, so I've just managed to spend more money on those things there as well. Each one's got its own thermostat on there. Each one's got its own heating element, as well as its own light on there as well. And we do try to separate our bearded dragons so there's no fighting on there as well. We'll get blue tongues in later this year as well, so that'll be pretty cool, and that'll be something pretty gnarly. That's one of our little silkbacks down there. He's pretty cool. Okay. More ornaments over here, reptile enclosures. We've got all your heat sand over there. Then we have our fighting fish rack here. This is pretty cool. We've got 40 tanks here, all on there. 2 sump setups on there as well. Down the bottom here, you can see we've got the biomedia up in there, filter wall foam, stuff like that. We've got a heater in there as well. We do like to keep it around that 26 degrees, just, you know, 27. You know, anything that's not too warm. Making sure my microphone is still working. Cut out before, so this is take 2. Yeah, the fighting fish, really popular fish, do need a heater. I can't stress it long enough. People, you need a heater for these things, especially like when it gets cold. That's enough of the rant. Let's check out our turtle tank. This is one of the projects I've been working on this year, and that has probably come out the best out of what my idea is as well. So this is our leucistic turtle. He's in a 3x2x2. Obviously we will need to upgrade him, but he's done. This is Milky, our leucistic turtle. So yeah, he's pretty gnarly. We've got, we've had him for a while now. I'm really happy with how this tank's turned out. So this is a 3x2x2. We've got a little spot lamp on there. That's just for show, but it really helped the spider vine kind of grow there as well. We have the pothos growing at the top there as well, starting to grow out here. I've really been happy with how this tank's turned out. It's one of the ones that every day I look at, I just feel like it's really starting to grow into it there as well. We had it set up for peacock bass and down in the fish room, and I feel like moving it out here was a really good option. Serpent tetras in there. They're normally fast enough to stay away from the turtle. Bolivian butterflies, they're normally smart enough to stay away from the turtle. The pleco wasn't smart at all because he got eaten by the turtle. So, but those things happen when you put fish with turtles. One thing Righto, let's keep it going in the fish room here. Okay, this is Sunnyvale, our giant guami, beast of a fish. I've had it for a fair few years now. Hopefully Chris is an old friend. You should be watching this, hopefully. If not, you should tune in. He gave it to me. I had to buy it off him, but it was a really great deal, and it's such a rare fish that you just don't see around anymore. Datnoid, another one that was a trade-in because it killed all its tank mates. So it wasn't real popular when the bloke brought it in. It was such a good deal for me as well. I don't want to sell it, I just want to keep it. No one gets to see it. I still get people coming in asking what the hell that fish is. We've got a monster pleco in there as well, gold spot. This tank here is a 5x2.5 by 2.5. It's got a big sump on there as well. Solid steel stand. UV sterilizer on there, Dimax 5-foot light on there. We got obviously air stones going in there as well. Yeah, really cool tank. I love this fish. It's definitely, people walk in the shop and they start talking to you and they get it just in front of it, then they see this fish, and every time it just stops the conversation. They just go, holy crap, check out that fish. Yeah, cool fish. As you see, we've got the Flipper Max on here as well. It's thick glass on here. This tank weighs an absolute ton. It was fun to move in. These guys are going to be all blued out because the blue's on here, so it's going to be hard to see. These are our coral tanks. So we have two Red Sea Maxes here, 5x2x2, and then we have, I think it's 900 by 45 by 45, maybe 50 by 50. And then we have our live rock tank down here as well. These ones all run off the sumps there. We have Magic light, Aqua aluminum lights on this one. Then we have Magic lights on this one here, and then we have a Dimax light on this one here. So yeah, the coral, it's something that I will say is probably not as popular as what it was at one stage. We used to really crank it up. I'm starting to get back into it a bit more as well. It's really hard when you've got the shop to stay focused on every aspect of the shop and stay interested in there as well. And I will say that the plant tanks have been really fun lately, and that's been one of the things we've been going to do as well. Hopefully I'm not mumbling too much on the camera here. Let's keep it going. These are our saltwater tanks. So we just have 6 saltwater tanks here. Each tank is 315 litres here. They all run off a sump. We have 2 tanks per sump. This is the way we kind of limit the disease. They run UV sterilizers on there, protein skimmers on there as well. It was a tough one. I've done a lot of marine racks over the years, and I had really small tanks, and it was okay for keeping the fish away from each other so they wouldn't attack each other, but it was I felt really bad for the fish because these guys are coming from the ocean and getting stuck in these little boxes. I didn't like it. So I went the complete opposite way and just made ginormous big tanks there as well. And I feel like the fish, it is a bit tricky sometimes. When we just had an issue with this tank here where too many of these damsels were basically out-competing the other guys for food there as well. I mean, that's a simple fix. We talk about it, the staff, we always communicate what needs to be done, and then we find a solution. And the solution was to move the Scopas tank out that was just a bit shy. So I guess that's the one benefit of having smaller tanks, is you can target feed, but then I really feel like the fish like to swim around and have a bit of space to stretch out. We have our snowflake moray eel down here, emperor angel. We have got a few different triggerfish. I wouldn't say the marine market is like our biggest market. There's definitely shops out there that just focus solely on marine fish. We try to cater for the customers that we have and try to, get a nice selection in. I wouldn't say our prices are the cheapest, that's for sure, but we do, again, try to offer a bit more room, a bit more health, a bit more long-term solution to housing these fish rather than get them in fast, ship them out fast, and let someone else worry about that problem. That's not what I want to do here. I want people to come in and have success, and saltwater fish is hard to have success with. These fish come from the ocean. They normally need a little bit extra care. Moving on down, this is our newest rack that we've been putting in over here. So this is our shrimp rack, endler rack, nano fish rack, just more fish rack. This is what it is. We just found another little corner to fit all in there. So we have all our cherry shrimp in here. We have our reds, our yellows, our oranges. We have some really cool guppies at the moment. We've got some bluegrass guppies here. We have our gold tiger endlers, and we have our albino lyre-tails there as well. Some cute little pandas up here. They're not the darkest color, but they are very cute, mixed in with the endlers there. Our female fighting fish, or betta fish, I think so. And then our moira endlers there as well. And then the bottom here, we've just got more guppies, green neon tetras, silverado. These ones here have their own back filters on there. We just loaded that up with matrix. The whole, I don't know if you'll be able to see. Oh yeah, the whole lot down there is just full of matrix on there. Yeah, they've done really well. These ones just run off sponge filters, good and bad. Sponge filters are good, don't get me wrong. Sometimes they just don't do enough, kind of thing. These are some new tanks. They're still kind of like polishing these ones off. I kind of just set them up and just letting them age. I'm a big believer in letting tanks age before you really try to make them perfect. Because you can pull out your hair trying to make it perfect, and the only thing you needed to do was let it age for a bit longer. CO2 is running on this tank up here. So as you can see, that's a Dimax set up there with a regulator, the bottle. I probably could have put a big 9 kilo bottle on there, and I thought about it a fair bit, but at the moment we're just going that way there. I've got a splitter on there, so it runs into both tanks here. Into bubble counters down here. Just a simple bubble counter on there. I don't think you need to go too fancy. I had fancier ones and I absolutely hated them. And then we've got, a Crips, Java Fern, Anubis, Liliapsis, and they're all really going well down there as well. Aqua One strip lights up here as well. They're just bang for your buck, solid light units. And we just got a simple hang-on filter on there with not much biomedia in there, mainly just sponge. Not real phos, more just big, thick sponge. We have our SAS Dialua shrimp food, beta fish food, betta fish. I'm just going to say fighter fish from now on. Weekend vacation feeders. Down here, Dimax food. So I don't know how many people have used this one in the past, but it's pretty new and it is pretty bloody awesome. It's my go-to fish food out here as well. I'm a big haikari person. I love haikari. That's a good food as well. This stuff, but is really, I've tried a lot of new foods and been really disappointed by it, and I have not been disappointed by any of this stuff here. We've got the API down here. That's been really pain in the ass to get lately. We do freeze-dried blackworms, and then we just got our budget line up here as well. So just cheap flake, cheap pellets. I understand some people don't have the budget for the fish as what everyone else does. So we try to cater for that as well. And that's what you got to understand as well. Like if you have high-end gear, you have to remember that some people don't have high-end budgets, and they need to start, they want to be in this hobby, but they want to have accessibility to other products in the meantime. So in case they've got other expenditures, totally understandable. Come and see us if you do. We can try and sort out some other stuff to help out with that project as well. Tico chillers up there. So we do the saltwater chillers, Red Sea roller mats. I haven't even used one of those yet. It's on the list to open up. I'm pretty excited to give it a crack. Automatic feeders. Then we've got like our bulk fish food up here, our frozen fish food, ocean nutrition, a bit of aquarium industry stuff there, bloodworm, brine shrimp, you know the deal. It's got a bit of mixture on there. I'm sure if you go to any decent aquarium shop, they've got frozen food over there as well. And then we just got our standard haikari, Aqua One fish food range. We do a bit of tetra. Again, it's a bit of a hodgepodge mainly. I feel like sometimes experience or just using different brands, and you kind of pick and choose some of the best stuff. Like this stuff here is absolutely amazing stuff, but half the other stuff Tetra does is absolute rubbish. But hey, this stuff here, if you want a really good tropical granule, this is a really good food there as well. And then I guess the other side is if you want a big predator food, this stuff is absolutely amazing as well. It will make your house smell like an abattoir, but it does stink pretty bad. This is our Cascade tank down here. So 4 foot tiered down. This one's a pretty gnarly setup on there as well. It has a sump set up down the back bottom here. So as you can see, pretty simple one. Obviously we don't have any fish in here. We just got Corydoros in there at the moment, just keeping it a bit clean. Unfortunately, with our waterfall system, one thing you figure out pretty fast is fish end up in the bottom tanks, not so much in the top 2 tanks there as well. I love this tank. It really probably doesn't make that much money for us. I really wanted to put a pond in here. I debated myself about it a lot because I didn't want it to be something that kids could drown in, obviously, and people would fall in. I really wanted to have a bench seat here. I think I compromised. When I saw this, I got the tape measure out, scared all the staff, came up with some crazy idea. A week later, we had this thing installed, ready to go. And I feel like it has worked out well. Everyone who walks around the corner here gets stopped and looks at it and just thinks, geez, that's a cool tank. Again, waffle. Live bearers. So we have our platies, mollies, swordtails, and more mollies over here as well. 3 foot tanks these are. See, we've got some super red bristlenose. Oh, that guy was showing off there. But they're pretty cool as well. These racks here, I've had these racks for a long time. My good friend Sam, he built these ones. And yeah, they've really held up pretty good. They were really heavy because I moved them in by myself. And I tell you, they were nice, solid built racks, that's for sure. We use it for our overflow gravel down there. I do often think about putting tanks down there, but you got to put your gravel somewhere, and gravel's and same with the aqua earth, you got to put it somewhere. Moving on down here, this is our guppy system. Now I pulled this guppy system. This was a rack system that we got off old franchise pet shop that's all kaput now as well. And one of our other customers just had it sitting in his garage there for empty, and we picked it up for a steal. and it's really good. We've changed the sump on there. We'll put the UVs on there. We haven't got many guppies at the moment. We've been absolutely smashed the last few days there as well. But yeah, that's been a really good system for there as well. And that's where we keep our bristlenoses. These tanks here have been new tanks for us that were put in this year. They're pretty much 2 foot cube tanks there as well. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them. 10 foot of tank. No wonder I'm broke. I keep on putting more tanks in. We run the Aquaglow strip lights on these ones. We have our rummy nose silver sharks, clown loaches, serpe tetras. We've got some crimson spot rainbows in there as well. Beautiful fish there as well. Neon tetras. I could not tell you how many neon tetras I sold today. But I know every time we scoop water out there, it goes down. I think it was down to about there today before we topped it back up again. So it's definitely been smashed on that. There's some amazing albino cherry barbs down there as well. So boys and girls, they guys looking absolutely stunning. Scissor-tail rasboris, might have seen them on one of the last unboxings that we did. They were really skinny and not much colour, and we did lose a few, but the ones that we have kept have absolutely come back stunning there as well. Each one of these tanks runs off a canister filter underneath down here as well. Now, each of these canister filters are canister filters that we sell. Now, mainly we do that is because not only when you come and buy a filter off us, we want to show you all about what they are, is if you're having issues with your canister filter, we want you to bring it in and we can set it up and we can figure out what's going on with these as well. Okay, behind us here, you can see we've got the Easy Cave setup going on there as well. Right on cue. Pleco's not in there, but I see he's cruising around the back there as well. And then we've got our 201 down there and another one down there. So this is just my crazy collection of plecos. I haven't really had a chance to put them at my house. I've got a 2-year-old and 2-year-olds on fish tanks. This is a nightmare. But yeah, we've got some 387s. I've got a few of those in there, 201s. The 201s definitely breed. We see babies shooting around in there as well. I'd need to do something better with that as well, but we just kind of let it go at the moment. At the top down here, we've got some Geophagus Jurapari, which are these ones down here, the bigger ones. Then we also have some Sirenamenses over here as well, silver sharks, rainbow sharks. So again, these 3 foot tanks are a bit of a holding tank we use for bigger fish on the tropical side there as well. Down here, these golden eeltails, we got them in the other day and you've just seen them. They're looking stunning. I'm a big native fan, and these guys are awesome fish. So I'm pretty happy with how they turn off there as well. And then we got like our Asian red tail cats down here as well. So yeah, big monster fish there as well. Hemibragus catfish, or Asian red tail cat, which is kind of not like the giant red tail cat there as well. Don't get like crazy big. Gravels. Then we got our next tank here. This is our Thunderdome tank. This is a bit of a mixed bag of just everything. This is a 6 foot by 2 foot by 2.5 foot. Again on a sump there as well. Got a lot of different mixed fish in here as well. Probably the standout at the moment is going to be our giant guami, which we'll put in there. I was a little bit nervous, but why should I be nervous? Because that thing just rules that tank at the moment. We've got some nice big size flagtail Procotinus in there. Beautiful little Eliotti down the bottom there. Nice size black shark. I mean, obviously they get huge, but yeah, a good size to take it home. And this is where our clown loaches retirement village is there as well. So if anytime someone brings in a big clown loach, this is the tank it gets to live in. Up here, we've got this is a bit of I keep a lot of my bigger bristlenoses in here. It's going to be hard to see, but there are some like bigger ones all hiding up in there as well. Obviously, we have a bit of blackbeard out here working on there as well, but we are working on this tank. And when you got this many tanks, sometimes projects can kind of get a little bit, I'll get to it type of thing, but we are getting to this tank. I've just added some pothos to the top there to help with the nutrient export out of there as well. We also got some other fish in here. We've got your 7 red rainbows, little Southern molly looking cool. The standouts are going to be the orange head tapajos. So yeah, beautiful cichlid. Another earth eater. I'm a really big fan of those guys there as well. Another one down here. I think this tank is going to get shut down and redone very shortly. So it's just a bit of a hodgepodge tank again. We shut down another tank and took all the plants out, and this is where they went. And so it's just sitting there at the moment. But we've got our dwarf female guamis in here, albino Congo tetras, some harlequin rasboras. I literally tried to catch them all out the other day, and now I see there's like a dozen in there. I did a bad job at that. I swear I got all of them out, but those guys are tough to catch. Driftwood rack, lots of driftwood. That's one of our big things that we do here. Big fan of that. Another chillers at the top there as well, so they're pretty good. This is another tank we've got, one of our display tanks. This is a 4x2. Beautiful tank, absolute nightmare to move in here. We've had a lot of different fish in here, stingrays, peacock bass, Saratoga, excuse me. But at the moment we have our moo cows in there. We have a true parrot cichlid, that's a pretty rare cichlid. A couple of big blood parrots. We have a Trimaculatus down there, which is another really rare cichlid. It's hard to know if it's a flower horn or a trimac. I know one of our staff, Brent, bought it as a trimac, and it definitely looks trimac, but if anyone knows much about the flower horns, that's pretty much like a trimac and a flower horn are kind of the same sort of, that's where what am I trying to say? The flower horns had trimac in there when they first started coming through. Red hooks, tinfoil barbs. Again, this tank runs off a big sun pin in here. UV sterilizer on there, filter sock. We kind of use that middle section there as a bit of a holding area sometimes for fish. And yeah, we're trying to get a few plants growing in there. Again, another project that's like 80% done. At least you can close the doors on that project. These are our plant tanks. This is our where our pothos kind of grows from here. You can see it's spreading all over the shop, everywhere there as well. It's all the way down to those display tanks there. Plant tanks, we do all our bunch plants over here. So this is two-sided. These ones run off the Aquarium strip glows. Okay, we have Billy Big Bass over here. Used to sing, unfortunately the batteries got all corroded on that one, so no more, but cool little novelty. Then we start getting into our fish wall here as well. So there's a lot of tanks going down here as well. I'll try and be pretty fast. I know this video is going to get on, but we'll go through a few different things. We have our tetras, whitefin tetras there as well. Angelfish up here as well. Excuse me. Pepper corridoras. Pristilla tetras, sucking catfish in there as well. Down the bottom here we have our L600 plecos. We also have some Senegal bichos cruising around in there as well. But yeah, the L600s, if anyone's looking for some rare plecos, we've got plenty of those. That tank, the next tank next to it there, we have our Bolivian butterfly rams, locally bred, absolutely stunning. Check out how awesome they look. Actually, and in the cave down there we have our Pimadornis ornatus. I butchered that name. Cool Lake Tankaniki catfish. That's what I'll call that one. Tiger barbs down in this one down here. Paradise fish, gold danios, guamis, angelfish, corridoras. We have some more biches up in this tank here, cruising at the corner there. We actually sold another one today, so that's awesome news. Someone bought themselves a Christmas present. I don't think it's a bad idea. Glass catfish, silver tip tetras. We have my albino bicho, which I haven't managed to take home yet, but it is on the list, that's for sure. And if we flip around here, this rack here is one of the ones that we're putting new there as well. So when we set the fish top up, I had all sumps on these ones here as well. And there's this wall here is set up to two sumps here, so it is split. I did find that some fish just didn't like being mixed with other fish. I don't know if it was a disease transfer, water quality. It was probably both those things there as well. So one thing we did is when we put this wall in, this wall runs all our sponge filters here as well. I'm just going to turn this fan off, since we're not spilling any water at the moment. Yeah, this rack here, this is really good. We have 45 centimeter cubes, 30 centimeter cubes, and more 45s there as well. This is where we chuck a lot of our rams, rainbow fish. You can see we've got a beautiful rad there at the moment that's really starting to color up beautiful. Torpedo barbs, albino, the Madagascan rainbows, heaps of angelfish down in there as well. Black neons. Then what have we got? And then we've got a few different rainbows up in here as well. So this is some more baby rads we've got here, some Bribie Island rads. So Bribie Island's a place in Queensland there. That's where they're obviously being collected from. Golden white clouds, white finned, angelfish. So yeah, this one's a really cool tank, all on sponge filters. We've got all our yabbies, red claw down the bottom there, curlew loaches. We've got one freshwater crab left at the moment. He is absolutely cool. Look at that nipper on him. What a beast. Yeah, so they only pop up on the list a couple of times a year, the crabs. So yeah, really happy to have those guys in. And then yeah, a few different bits and pieces there as well. We keep heading down here. You can see this, we start getting to the end of our rack. This is where we've got our baby Saratoga. I keep all our Saratoga divided up, especially because of the size at the moment, and it's just easier to target feed them and keep an eye on them as well. So Brent did a pretty good job on like DIY and some dividers for them as well. They've done really good. They will grow really fast, so we'll have heaps of those for sale. But if anyone's not too confident, like definitely come and have a chat to us. We can advise you. Don't just go chuck them in with Oscars and Barra and stuff like that. These guys need a little bit of love. They're just little pups at the moment. We go to our goldfish wall. This one used to be our saltwater wall, so it has got a bit of wear and tear on there because saltwater wrecks everything. And just check out what it does to it all. Now it's our goldfish system. It does a lot better as the goldfish tanks there as well. Yeah, I mean, it's one of the racks that would almost be on the list to get replaced out if I didn't stop spending all my money on other cool stuff in the shop rather than new racks. Does the job. I used to have these tanks divided up. You can see the old silicon marks. Again, we cut that all off. That was like for the Marines, a little tank experiment, and I hated it. This rack here, it's got our filtration for our big tanks over here. So you can see we've got 3 FX4 6s and Ocellaris 3000 there as well. A couple of little tanks here. I don't think these guys are going to be here for too much longer. I'm going to find something better to do here, but this is pretty good. And we do have a big pair of green Severins up the top here as well. So you can see the females starting to come up there as well. So if anyone's looking at breeding, come down and have a chat. This is our newest African section we just put in here. So we managed to fit like 8 more 2-foot tanks. It's going to be really blue on there because the LEDs that are on there, but those guys are 2-foot tanks going backwards. Really happy with how these ones turned out there as well. Lots of extra room on there. So these guys are all plumbed into this African wall, which is on its own sump there as well. Big sump, lots of K1 filter media in there. Great system. We sell lots of Africans. I know they're not the flavour of the month for a lot of people, but when you've got a soft spot for fish, it's a bit hard. Like, to make the job interesting, you have to sell fish that you're interested in as well. The trade-off is some fish don't sell that well. So there's always that counterbalance of like trying to make money so we can have jobs and pay my mortgage and pay for staff, as opposed to collecting fish and having lots of cool fish. It's definitely something we struggle with. I've gotten better of it over the years, but sometimes I do get stuck with this stuff that no one buys. Like these little Juliachromis fish here as well, but I really like Juliachromis cichlids. Juliachromis malariae, and these ones are Kipilies. I've never had them before, first time for me. I was going to take them home, but I have not set up a tank yet. Venostus colony, that one's going out later this week. That's all sold, so that came in on the last unboxing. Then you see that male's coloured up really good. So yeah, they're going out fairly shortly. And then we go on to our big tank here as well. Let me grab this ladder out of the way. So this tank here is definitely the oldest tank in the shop. It worries me someday that it might break apart. It's 15mm glass in the base. It's a big ass tank. Weighs an absolute ton. I've only moved it twice, and every time I'm just like, next time it might just end up getting smashed apart. Lots of Oscars. This is our Oscar rehoming tank. So anyone who's ever got an Oscar that needs a home in Mackay, come and see me. We can always just chuck it in a tank here as well. And then we do sell them out of here. No one really buys them that much. We sell lots of little ones. I can understand it. People want to grow their fish up there as well. That's our monster flower horn bubbles. That's a huge fish. So down the bottom here we have our Africans as well. Again, these are just a bit of a mixed match of like frontoses, lots of different ones. So we sell all these fish out of here. So this tank goes through stages. Sometimes we'll get down to a point where we'll just kind of like cull out a few of the smaller ones there and sell them out real cheap. But anyone who ever comes in with a tank shutdown or whatnot will always take the fish. If it's worth money, we'll flip it for money. If it's worth nothing, then we'll just try and find a home for it. This is our American cichlid section. Flower horns, black nasty. We've got a few different rarer fish in here as well. Excuse me. We have a wicked Cuban cichlid at the moment. Again, one of our staff members brought that in. Super rare fish. You don't see them around that often. Another couple of giant guamis down there. We've got a pink one, Baisha in there. Some nice Oscars down here. Chocolate cichlids, blue acaras. I really do love my cichlids. I'm a sucker for the American cichlids. They've got such cool personality. See the pleco on the side down there. We've got a Rubiulatus female down in here, silver sum, hiding behind there as well. Little Synodontus ossiflara there as well. So lots of different mixed bag fish there as well. Peacock bass, nice sized Oscars. We have some nice sized orange head tapajos over here. Yeah, see that big one there. Really good looking fish. And then if we go on the other side, flip around, you can see this is the other side of our plant tank. So our plant tanks that we use here are 4x2x2s. We've got 2 of those. 3x2x2s. We've got 2 of those. I love it. I do sometimes wish it was bigger, but it's pretty cool. We run tidal 110s off these ones. I do want to put canister filters on there, but the tidal filters are really easy to get in there and change the filter wall out. Pretty important on these tanks when you're disturbing the dirt and whatnot as well. Starting to lose my voice here, I'm struggling. Okay, this is our discus wall. So we have 4 3-foot tanks of discus here. These runs are all plumbed in. As you can see, this tank here is off the system at the moment. These are our new ones that just turned up this week there as well. So what we're going to do, first off, we'll make sure they're all eating, no parasites, the bacterial infections come through. We'll run some kill foam in there as well and just get them feeding. Then we'll completely dump out that water there and move them out, and then clean it out. We'll put a bit of, not disinfectant, but a bit of stuff in there, Condis crystals, which is potassium permanganate. That'll kind of kill off everything, and then we'll just drain it up and set it up. So it's kind of how we try to make sure that our discus aren't getting cross-contaminated with new ones coming in there as well. They are a tricky fish. You do need to give them a bit extra care. Down the bottom here we have our turtles. So these are the Murray River turtles. Same, that's the regular variety. So as you can see, our Milky, our leucistic one, he's the same one, but obviously a bit different. Just being told I'm butchering that word as well. I think it's leucistic, so I don't care. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. Just comment, it'd be nice. Magnet cleaners, heaps of those, and our fish nets. So we try to squeeze everything we can into the shop here as well. So big selection of fish nets. We got lots, so come down and see us. We head around here. This is all our chemicals. So we're big sea chem people. They've supported me a lot. I know over in the States they get a bit of a bad rap some fun places. What's Aquarium Co-op as well. I can understand that as well. But I will say that when you're in a little place in Mackay, which is a little place in Queensland, which is a little place in Australia, and a company really does try to make sure that you're happy with their products, you definitely feel the love, that's for sure. API, medications, pond algae cleaners, breeding nets, a few bits and bobs there as well. This tank here, this is a really cool one. This is our multifasciatus tank. So you can see they just had a little spawn the other day. I don't know if they've eaten all their babies, but this colony here would easily be, I think, about 30 fish in there at the moment. So it is an absolute ripper of a tank. We've had it set up for a long time. We've only ever taken the colony out once to kind of thin the numbers. We'll see if the food gets them out a bit as well. It's got the pothos growing off the side here. This is done really well. This runs off a Ocellaris A50 tank there as well. Yeah, I really love this tank.
This is the reflex tank.
So this is your Dymax 58 tank that I showed you at the front there. We've also got 2 more set up over here. And yeah, this is really good. It's really hard when someone's talking to you off camera and you're trying to focus what they're doing, but you're trying to make a video at the same time. That's all right. Yeah, these ones here, same tank. These are our freshwater eels. So we have the snow eels down here. These are a brackish eel. So they definitely, a little bit of salt in the water there. We tried to run them fresh, couldn't run it fresh. You need a bit of salt in there. The next one over that is on full fresh. So you can see it in the rock there. This is a tiger moray eel, very nocturnal, doesn't come out much. Bit of a shame because it is a really cool fish. I highly recommend it. I had one for a long time. It's an awesome fish. Make sure you have lids on your tank for your eels, they do jump out. And I think that's about it for the fish room. We've got our gravel cleaners, a few more. We try to make sure that you don't need to go to any other shop if you come to my shop. We definitely appreciate the effort if you do come to my shop to come buy stuff. We go into our budgies. We do budgies, keep that behind glass. That keeps a lot of the mess out there as well. That's one of the things that we don't do heavily on the birds, but we do try. We have our saltwater stuff here. It's a little bit sparse at the moment. We're waiting for a top-up shipment. We were hoping it was going to get here before Christmas, but it didn't get here, unfortunately. Our skimmers at the top there, salts down the back there, RO systems, stuff like that. And then we go into our small animal section. So we do guinea pigs, rats, mice, We do have some baby chickens. I don't know if you've ever seen it. They're pretty cute at the moment, but so baby chickens. We have your guinea pigs up here. So, and I think that is pretty much going to do us on the tour. We just come up here, and then yeah, a bit more dog, cat, bird, big bird shop. One of the girls who I see, Amy, she's got macaws, cockatoos, all that crazy stuff. So she's always hassling me to get cool bird toys in, giant cages, stuff that just sends me broke, but we love it. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope if you're bored on Christmas Day, it's going to do the job for you. And Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and hope you like and subscribe.